2017. And the way I started in the triathlon was I saw Erika Maldonado from Univision finish the Chicago Triathlon, and then I started looking into like what did she just do? Well, and I started looking what was a triathlon. I got intrigued with the sport. Back then I did not know how to swim. That was back in 2016. So then I started taking classes at the YMCA that winter. And in 2017 is when I started my training with the triathlon to enter the Chicago Triathlon race. And a guy had told me, well, if you're just starting the training now, maybe you can sign up for the international distance. So that's what I did. I learned how to swim. I did the training, and I completed my first Chicago Triathlon in 2017.
Bravo. Thank you. And who else do we have here today?
Hello, name's Hector, or X. I got involved with triathlons started with Midway Mile Chasers when we had the indoor events at Lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first experience. I did that because I also was curious about it. The idea intrigued me to do 3 things at once. I tried it out. I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun that winter doing the indoor tri with MMC. So I signed up for the triathlon for this coming summer, but COVID hit, so I had to wait another full year to do a live triathlon. But when that opportunity came by, I took it. I didn't train as well as I should have, especially on the swim part, train for swimming. But I went and did it, and I had fun with it. And now coming back for another year because I like to improve my swim time.
Very good. Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Hello, I'm Nancy. I did the Super Sprint last year for the Chicago one. I was registered 2 years ago, but because of COVID, I deferred it to last year. And my experience was good. Big thing to worry about is gear check. I had an issue with my bike, and that set me behind really a lot.
Okay.
And prepping your station for switching from one thing to the other is a good idea. Obviously, you do have to train. If you just go right into it, I did use to train a little more on the swim, but those swim clinics are really a good idea.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Okay, so guys, today the purpose of this Triathlon 101 presentation is to explain to you and show you what the triathlon world is all about, the different distances the Chicago Triathlon has. I brought some gear to explain to you what that means and how you're going to set up your gear for triathlon. So we are most likely going to focus on the super sprint distance, the shortest mileage.
Okay. Very good. And tell me a little bit about what the super sprint consists of.
The super sprint consists of the swim is a 0.23 mile swim. The bike is a 6 mile bike, it's a 10K, and the run part is a 1.5 mile.
1.5, okay.
run.
All right. So for all of those runners out there, that doesn't seem too long. 1.5.
And it's just a taste of the triathlon is. And it's the one
Fantastic.
that was recommended you will start with.
And the super sprint is what? Who provides that race?
The Chicago Triathlon.
Okay. And that happens every.
Every August. This year's August 27th. It's on a Saturday.
Very good. All right. And what do you have here for us?
So here is all the triathlon gear. These are triathlon tri suits, just like the one I have on. This is a bib. You can wear this clothing under a wetsuit. So depending on for example, the super sprint, you can wear a wetsuit if you want, or you can just swim on a triathlon suit.
Okay. And what's the choice? Like if you're saying I could choose to do this versus that, like is it recommended?
Yeah, it depends on the person. The super sprint is a shorter distance, so sometimes people just swim on their triathlon suit.
Okay.
Others feel more comfortable with the wetsuit on. So if you do both, you could wear like what I'm wearing, and then you put this on top.
Got it. And this helps. What does this provide?
This provides a wetsuit. That's usually worn by swimmers, divers, or surfers who swim in cold water. So
okay.
the wetsuit insulates the swimmers or help them retain body heat.
Oh, okay.
So
maybe if the swim is a little bit longer, this is really suggested?
Yes, because the water is
Oh, it's
cold.
really thick too. It helps you float? Okay, so you definitely suggest something like that for the longer swims?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And now I see there's a difference between this one has an under? Does
Yes.
this one, and this one does not?
Right, this is a shorts, try shorts, and this is a bib. They both have the padding in between for the body part.
Got it.
And the Super Sprint race gives you their own color swimming cap. So depending on your wave, it's the color of your swimming cap, and this is what you will wear on your day of race.
Okay, and what else do you have
And then
here?
here I have the way you're going to set up your gear the day of the race day. So on
Okay.
race day in the morning, what you want to do is either have a towel or have a mat. Whatever you prefer. What I have here is you're gonna set up your gear the way, this is the way I would do it. I would
Okay.
come first, take off my wetsuit, and I would start with my sunglasses, my gloves, and the helmet. But it depends on the person, whichever one is first. If you want to do your shoes, black shoes first, you will put them in the front. So this is the transition area. There you'll be in time, so you want to move as fast as you can. So I'm starting, this is me, I'm just starting to put on my bib with a belt on. And then I will start with my glasses, my gloves, my helmet. I have already my socks folded, ready to put in. But before I do this part, I have an extra water bottle to clean my feet.
Oh,
And then
okay.
once I clean my feet, I start with my socks, my gym shoes, and then my, this is my bike part. And then ready to take the bike.
Looks like you need a new hat. We'll work on that.
Then when you come back from the bike, you take off your gear and then you put on the hat. So what I do also on the transition part, I bring something with me to put a tape, like to know where my bike is at, so I don't get lost. So I usually do a hot pink or maybe a Christmas garland piece, something.
Now, where does the tape go?
It goes on the rack where you set
Oh, okay.
the bike.
Oh, so it's easier to find your bike.
Correct.
Got it.
Correct.
Okay.
So I also bring a towel to dry, and what I bring also is flip-flops. I bring the cheapest flip-flops because you have to walk from transition to the start line of the swim for maybe half a mile. I don't like walking on concrete and stepping on stones and rocks and stuff. So I bring my own flip-flops. At the start line, I throw them away. And then, because you still have like maybe 30 to 45 minute wait time before you start. So that's what I usually do, and just throw them out.
Okay.
And then these are the bracelets that you have to take a mandatory briefing before picking up your package. If you do not take that brief, they will not give you your package.
Okay.
So once you take the brief, mandatory brief, they give you a bracelet. This bracelet would only let you go in and out of the transition with your bike, nobody else. If you don't have this bracelet, you cannot go in. For the Super Sprint, the briefly is the same day of the race. It's like 30 minutes and it's before the start line. For the sprint and international, those are another time. And this is just some medals that I brought. I'm missing one Chicago, but I had it hanging, so I couldn't take it out. But these are the 4. I have 5 Chicago. I've also done the Naperville, Indoor Tri, and the Glenview.
Okay, it seems like a great layout here. And what about bike? Let's say if I don't have a bicycle or a fancy bike for the triathlon, for the sprint,
For the Super Sprint?
super sprint.
It's okay as long as you can. Your bike is in well maintenance, your wheels are fine, brakes are good, and you can bike 10K. You'll be fine. If you don't have one, they also have the DV program that you will sign up. So you can sign up, you can register for the race, and you put that you want the DV program. And when it's time for you to come that morning, your DV bike is going to be already in the transition area, ready for you. So you can use that at the day of the race.
Okay.
My triathlons, I got this one back in 2017. You don't have to get a fancy bike or anything. But make sure everything's in great maintenance. You have to bring your own tools or your own bike iron tool just in case anything happens while you're on the race. They do have volunteers there to help you if anything happens, but make sure you have those items with you in case. But it took me, I transitioned like from a Target bike to this one back in 2017. That's when I went to the bike shop and they had different bikes and I tried them, and that's how I started with this one. And I have changed the bike seat several times. I still think I have to change it, but it takes time in order to find the right bike seat.
All right, guys. So we talked a little bit about what you guys have in as far as gear, and I also see that we went over your bicycle, and I understand that it doesn't have to be a costly bicycle. You can start off with something really inexpensive, but the more expensive the bike gets, the better performance is what's going to happen. Am I correct on that? Good. And then Nancy, you said you've done the sprint triathlon. Is that correct? And what was your first? Was that your first one?
Yes.
Yeah. And overall, what would you tell a first timer? How would you convince a first timer to try one?
I did the super sprint because I was a little nervous with the swim and everything. I kind of know how to swim. I asked a lot of questions to a lot of people that had done it before. I asked Patty a lot of questions. I actually borrowed my wetsuit because I couldn't find a rental. You could rent one, but I couldn't find one. They were like all gone. So I borrowed one, but I actually found new ones that people were selling on the Facebook market. I like the wetsuit. It helps you float, and that day was really cold. But if you do one of the other suits, if you're going for speed, that's like a good transition. You don't have to change. You just could wear the same thing for all three things. I like to use the bib. This is a great thing to have. That way you don't have to be pinning it, switching it from one thing to the next.
That's a really good tip. I wouldn't know that. And as far when you say speed, you're talking about transitioning speed,
Yeah.
not necessarily in the water or running or anything. Okay, good.
Because taking out the wetsuit while it's wet.
Yeah, it feels heavy and thick
It
and
takes you a
stuff.
minute, especially if you're sweating. No.
Yeah. And now, Patty, quick question for you. When we talk about speed, does the transitioning speed, is that a who tracks that? And if you go over that, what happens? Like if you go past the amount, whatever the amount is for transitioning.
There's no amount in transition,
Okay.
but in the race company is timing you during your transition. So you also want to move as fast as you can during the time and not spend too much time trying to change what you set up your items. So you can fast put everything on and take your bike and go, leave your bike and run, because you are being timed during those minutes. So I usually recommend 5 minutes, no more than 5. Try to move as fast as you can during that time.
You wear a bracelet on your ankle that tracks your time.
You do. That's given to you by the racing. Okay.
They put it on you when you go for that initial, what is that? The training, the 30-minute training. You go when you go for pack and pickup. You put it on your hand.
Okay. Very cool. See, another thing I wouldn't know. Hex, what would you say? I'm a first timer and I say to you, hey Hex, I really want to try one. Which one of all the races that are out there in the triathlon world, as a first timer, I know I'm comfortable with running and I'm somewhat comfortable with biking. What would you say if I'm comfortable with a little bit of the swimming, I'm just starting to learn, which race would you recommend?
I would recommend the super sprint.
Okay.
It's a nice entry level try. The distances are there's nothing extreme about the distances, and they're all doable. Nothing to be scared of. So I recommend a super sprint for an entry level.
I have a question.
Okay.
Overall, how costly is this race? Or any of the races? Like registration fees?
It can range from, depending on the size race you're doing, super sprint, I'm guessing 60 to 80.
Like isn't 100 maybe for that? 90? Yeah, isn't 100, right?
Like 95.
It can
So-
range from like the 80 to about 180. Because the longer distances are more expensive.
So each race has a different price to
Yes.
it. Okay, very good. And overall, the sport. I mean, say I have the bike. You know, it's somewhat of a fancy bike, and I have running clothing because I'm a runner. What would you say is the most expensive item for the triathlon world, besides the bicycle? Because obviously the bike can just continue to range. I've heard that people create their own bikes. Is that correct? Some people just like get bicycle pieces and put their own bikes together. So besides the bicycle itself, what would you say is the most expensive?
Just the wetsuit.
The wetsuit. And
But they
things.
also rent them.
Yeah.
If you cannot afford it for the race or for practice, there's stores that rent them. I would advise you to call right now ahead of time if you're thinking of getting into the race in August. Start by getting fitted for the wetsuit and renting it for that day because it does run out pretty fast.
How many weeks of training?
For the super sprint, it's only 8 weeks, and training will start in July.
Okay, that's a good question. Let me piggyback on that. So the training's in July. What is Midway Mile Chasers trying to do now with this? I know that for a while we've been trying to do get more people involved with triathlon. Patty, tell me a little bit about what you'd like to see or what your vision is with the group and with members.
I would like to see bringing the swimming and the running, the biking and the running together. For example, if we have a long run on a Saturday, maybe we can come in an hour before and go for a swim and then transition to the running. That way they will give us a break workout. Also having the MMC Bike Club will give us also another advantage of going for a bike ride and then coming back and transitioning to a run after that. So I would like to bring the running and swimming together, running and biking.
Hex, how about yourself? What would you like? Where would you like to see Midway Mile Chasers and the triathlon world?
I mean, like the reason for this, just to introduce people to it. I know a lot of people are scared of it and all everything it entails. So just introduce them, give them a little taste of it, and hopefully they catch the bug and they want to do it next time.
Good. And Nancy, what would you tell a first timer? How would you convince me to do one of these?
I mostly it's just like going for it. I was really scared, but I'm like, if I don't go out there and do it one time, even if I don't get it done, I'm never gonna know.
Now, Nancy, I know you've done marathons and halves and all kinds of races. How would you compare a finish line to a triathlon finish line?
I feel like I accomplished more just because I'm like, it took a lot out of me to like do all 3 of them in transition, and I'm like, well, I could do this. It is very satisfying getting to that finish line. I don't know I actually was able to do it.
Very cool. What about yourself, Patty B? How would you describe the difference between the 2 finish lines?
It's amazing when you do 3 sports in one. And to me, it was like I couldn't believe I was able to do something like that because at the beginning, I didn't think I could do that until I did it. And I was like, especially when I started swimming in the open water, I was scared. I was like, I don't think I can do this. But I kept with practice. I kept going through the open water. I kept getting used to how the water felt and get comfortable in it. That I did finish, and it was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it, but I did it. And if I did it, you can do it too.
Very cool. And Hex?
Difference between the two? I think I had a better satisfaction finishing the tri than I did the marathon. As weird as it sounds, it's just a challenge that was there that I haven't done before. And there was a lot of unknowns to it. Where can I finish the swim? And I do the bike and run after the swim? And just being able to accomplish all that felt great.
Very cool. All right. Well, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and just finish off by saying it is something definitely that we all want to give it a try. I know Midway Mile Chasers really wants to get a lot more people involved, as Patty said, and Hex has reiterated. I think the unknown is the scariest part. I think giving yourself an opportunity to understand what it involves, understand the whole lingo, and having people that can help you, like Patty, Hex, and Nancy, who mentioned renting a suit instead of buying, really is beneficial. So with that said, we look forward to seeing some more of you out there in the triathlon world. Patty, I know you're going to train us a little bit more and have a schedule, a training schedule. Hex, you're in charge of the bike club, and you're going to try to put us, get to collaborate the bike club with the run club with the swim club. I think we're going to be done here. So, Patty, if you have anything else to say about your presentation,
I would just say don't be afraid, because I know I was afraid when I first started. I felt that it was something I wanted to do, but when I got in the water, I thought I was scared. I felt I couldn't do this, but I did it. So just, it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to go through it. Give it a try and just get over that fear little by little.
very good. Hex?
Give try a try.
Very good. Nancy?
Yeah, there's swim clinics. Those are good to go. So it's one-on-one. They'll show you the water portion. That was great.
Very good. All right. Thank you, guys.